welcome back to another episode of All Things Conscious with your hosts C and Shawna. This week we have another exciting episode as usual, but this week we're going to talk about a topic that's not really talked about throughout the spiritual community, as far as I can see. We're going to be talking about the dark side of spirituality. We're going to be talking about the ups and the downs of the journey. We're going to be talking about what you go through, how to handle it, and just give you a different perspective on things throughout this whole thing.
And we mean by dark side, we mean it's just not all love and light.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I call toxic spirituality. That's why I don't even say, honestly, I guess we're just gonna jump right into it. Honestly, that's why I don't even say that
I don't like to say I'm spiritual either. I say I'm a conscious being.
Expand my mind, because a lot of spirituality is starting to look like a different form of church to me. It's just looking different form of control, a different form of watered down this and watered down that.
Well, a lot of it we see is trend. A lot of it we see is spiritual ego, and like I used to see this in the beginning, and I was always told by the divine to keep it simple. But a lot of people want to use this language like they are so much more intelligent than other people, and that they are so much more conscious because they're using all this fancy language, and it's like, dude, we're talking about the same exact thing, except I'm relaying it in a way that is more relatable to people, and they don't have to read an encyclopedia to understand me.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and
what
spiritual ego,
that's something that I'm glad that I didn't have to deal with, because I guess because coming from where I came from and how my life was, I didn't really think I was better than anyone. Anyways, I know that everything just is. I'm in my own lane, you in your own lane, right? So I see a lot of that on TikTok all the time. They're using all these big words and this and that and this and that. And I'm just like, dude, I'm over here using analogies like I'm comparing your mind to a garden. I'm comparing your mind to a computer. Things that are simple that a child can grasp them.
I'll tell you why, because we've actually gone through the experience and they've read a book. That's why. That makes the difference. When you can actually use your journey, your experiences to help educate or teach somebody else, it's a lot different than reading a book and then trying to jump on and do a video about it. That's the difference.
Yeah, see, I'm because honestly, that's what happened to me when my cousin passed away. I did read Joseph Murphy, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So, and then I read the last book I read, Jen Cicero, You're a Bad Beep. I can't say that on here, but I did read those two books and they did help to expand my mind. But what she's saying is not to rely on these things to be your spirituality, because this is
not your journey.
Yeah, this is your personal experience. And even in Jen Cicero's book, she said, I spent thousands on self-help, on I gotta get this, I gotta get that. She literally said it in her book to stop buying books, stop buying all of these hit lessons and all of these things that are not helping you, when you have the power within you to heal yourself, to teach yourself, to learn everything that you need to know, literally.
Do you know how many people come to me as a healer that have spent thousands and $1,000 on other healers and classes and stuff like that? And I'm like, the initial consultation is $25, and I give them the tools and they're on their way. And I don't care if they come back to me or not, because to me, I feel like I'm a bad healer if I have repeat customers. They come and check in every couple, 6 months maybe, to say, hey, I got this, I understand this. But I can't fathom spending all that money going to these classes and these lessons that they don't work for the people, they don't work for them.
Because honestly, if you look at it, you just taking somebody else's perspective, their ideology, and making it your own, when the whole point of us being here is to be ourselves, to embody love, embrace this self-love. I am me.
But how do we get there? And this is what we're talking about, the journey. You experience the dark night of the soul, like over and over. I know for 7 years when I was healing, I experienced the dark night of the soul over and over and over again. And let me tell you something. Some of the times I couldn't drag myself out of bed. I was riddled with depression. I could barely get up to feed my animals. I was just, unless you are been going through it, it's the only way you're going to understand. When you're on your own personal journey, you realize that you don't have energy when you're going through these, this period of growth. And a lot of times you're brought to your knees and you're humbled and for you to understand stuff, and you go through, if somebody's triggering you. And before I even understood what that was, I was arguing with people all the time. You know what I mean? In the beginning, I was like, what? I was frustrated. And, so it's not all love and light. There's a lot of work to get, so you're not being triggered anymore, to understand what the trigger is, to be able to be around different energies or different people with different vibrations.
Man, you talking for real. It was terrible. Like, I went on TikTok one time and I said, why don't y'all tell people the truth? That was terrible. Like, that was the most horrific thing I have had to go through in my life, because you have to realize what you are shedding. You're like a snake shedding your skin. You are transforming into this brand new person. You are going against the grain. You are now thinking completely new. So when you have to realize, especially if you're older or if you've been thinking like this for a long time. I'm 27, right? So I had to undo 27 years of thinking the same way, of acting a certain way, of doing things a certain way.
In my 50s. It took a long time.
But see that,
shed religion and stuff like that.
yeah,
Politics, like the things that people normally talk about, like just to realize that the world, when you're realizing the world is a lie, and you're like, everything you've been told is a lie, it's earth shattering. Like, oh my God.
Makes you go crazy, and people don't talk about that because you sitting there like,
there is a thing called spiritual madness. There is.
I done read some stuff. I know you don't like Quora, but I done read some stuff on Quora, where people, I was literally trying to get out of it. I was like, how do you
Quora
stop?
is the worst, man. I hate to say it, it's the worst, the most negative place to go to for especially twin flame information. Everybody thinks they're an expert, but they're not even twin flames. I'm sorry.
But I was like, how do I stop a spiritual awakening? How do I go back to sleep after a spiritual awakening? Because one girl
That's
ended
like
up,
trying to stop a volcano from erupting. You know what I mean?
and this girl on there ended up in the hospital. Like, she checked herself into a mental hospital because she realized that everything was a lie. Not people, a lot of people can't do that. And you think that it's trending so much that everybody want to go through this. Be for real now. Come on. Stop listening.
Even me and C, we don't hear from each other. Be like, oh boy, let me check in.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are you feeling? What are you feeling? What's going on? Like, I just need some time, or like we're just dragging and barely making it.
At one time, I literally had to call out to her. I was in my mind. I was like, Shawna, please hear me. I was like, dude, call me. 5 minutes later, what's up, dude? I was like, thank God. I was like, man, your girl over here drowning. But a lot of people don't understand that. And a lot of people don't have people in their life that hold them accountable. One thing about our relationship, I'm not gonna let her slack. She not gonna let me slack at all. If we disagree like any other friendship, right? But we don't let that come between the truth. The truth is, we sit here to help each other. We sit here to be friends. Have fun with this thing, help each other grow. And a lot of people don't have people that help hold them accountable. They're just like, oh,
we're not trying to force our view. We're not trying to force things on the other one. And
yeah.
back before my spiritual awakening, I would want my friends or whatever to have the same view as me. I mean, it helps to have the same view to have friends, but I want to be challenged with something, not toxic stuff, but I want somebody to challenge me to experience another level, to be the best version of myself. We do that in our friendship, to challenge each other to grow and evolve and not get stuck in the same mindset. And we remind each other all the time, look, you're in somebody else's energy, come on, break out of that.
We definitely do. I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I was just happy. Oh, yeah, we do it all the time, man. So that's another thing too. Sometimes you do get in other people's energy, like if you're a twin flame for sure, but we'll get into that another time. But you do get into other people's energies, because when I first started to realize how sensitive I was to energy and how to manipulate energy and everything, I realized that sometimes I would go around my family. Like one time, literally, true story, my cousin had a headache, she started getting irritated. I got a headache, I started getting irritated. They asked my cousin what was wrong. She said, I got a headache and I'm irritated. I said, wow. I, I'm starting to understand. Now my angels, my spirit team, universe start putting stuff in my face like, hey, that's not you. Hey, that's not you, right? So you get better at it as time goes. And like,
and you also learn to protect yourself from other people's energy, like putting a bubble around you or having crystals or just different tools, to help you with that. But look, I mean, sometimes you're not happy or sad. You're just like in this very void. You're like, I kind of feel like I'm on that little wheel, like a hamster, and I'm waking up every day is the same day. I don't like it. Like, if you're not crying or dragging yourself, you're just on a wheel. Like,
what's next after that though? You finish
a breakthrough.
Yeah. Your world shattered, because me and her was just talking about that like a couple weeks ago. We was just talking about how I was like, yeah, man, I feel the same way. I feel like I'm just doing constantly the same thing over and over again. You about to get your breakthrough. You close to getting what it is you're trying to manifest. Don't give up then. Just relax and flow. Just let it flow, right? Because depression, a lot of times depression stems from you not being truly authentic to yourself, is what I believe. I believe you may believe differently, but I believe that it's not you being 100% you. And your body is trying to tell you, hey, I'm unhappy. This is not who I want to be. Can we redo?
Not where I want to be. This is,
yeah.
You will constantly go through those energies as you're shedding and you're growing and evolving. It's like you're always stepping into that higher version of you. So that's what you're doing. You're like, you're not truly that authentic version. And then the next day you'll be not truly the authentic version that you need every day. It's growth. Depression can be many things too. It's wounds, it's wanting, desiring something outside of yourself or whatever, not understanding. It's other people's energy. It's because the spiritual ascension path is hard. It's hard, and you will go through a spectrum of emotions, and because your mind is changing, it's unlocking, it's growing, it's expanding, and there's so many things that you're shedding, like we talked about already. And a lot of times you come into this world to transform a specific, like you might be transforming love, and a lot of us are on this planet right now are to transform love to become more heart conscious, more heart based human beings, and show and understand that love. And this is a hard thing to understand too, that your parents have been loving you with condition, like, and you're trying to break free of that and love unconditionally. And I know I'm going through a period right now in my life. I'm hard because I'm giving of myself. But when you're holding space for somebody else who is not there yet, it's really hard to do that. It's hard. And you still have your boundaries up and stuff, and you don't want to. It's like when people are learning how to love themselves and fill their own cup. It's like you're allowed to a degree to put some love into that cup, but they have to learn how to do it on their own. So holding space is hard. Learning how to love unconditionally with healthy boundaries is hard. Shedding the old view. And I know that, okay, because I'm in a twin flame connection, situationship, relationship thing, right? So I have to learn to allow my person to be themselves and not try to jump in and save them. And and just allow them to be who they are. Before, I would want to control it because whatever they did affected me, you know? So now I just try to go with the flow. But it is like you have to learn to be a pillar of strength and balance. That's what I hear the divine say all the time in my ears, is that you have to learn to be a pillar, strength, and balance. And so when you're learning how to reprogram yourself from love, with the concept of love that you thought it was hard. And
Yeah.
I cry a lot when it comes to love. And that's the only thing, my counterpart is the only thing that can make me cry or trigger me.
And
That's it.
honestly, when you really look at it and dig down deep to the root of things, a lot of us are really just healing trauma surrounding relationships, surrounding either your relationship with someone, your relationship with money, your relationship with yourself. It's either those
Your
three
parents.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
your parents, all of that. And like she said, it's a hard truth. It's a lot of hard truths that you have to go through. Um, I wouldn't even get out of bed some days. Like some days I would overeat. Some days I wouldn't eat at all. It got so bad at the beginning of my spiritual journey that I was like 180. I lost like 50 pounds. I'm
Yeah,
just
I out of
getting back,
weight too. I lost like 80 pounds.
back to that. Like I'm 150 now, and that's where I want to stay and bulk up, right? So that's why it's a lot to it. It's a lot more than just getting the pretty crystals and getting all of these hits on TikTok and a little tarot here and a little this and then trying to do all these spells. It's so much more to it than that. When you It's like you are a statue, right? And you get a wrecking ball, and that wrecking ball come and break that statue down. And now you got to rebuild the whole statue up. So, like she said, when you're coming back to reparent yourself, to love yourself like your parents did, to listen to yourself, it's all about your relationship with yourself, is basically what I'm trying to say. This is literally what you're trying to heal. You can't help somebody else unless you're healed, right? So, I feel that like she said, we're here to raise the vibration with love. That is the highest vibration, love. So what does the world need? Love. All this division, all this other stuff. The world needs love. We don't need another form of toxicity or you have to do this, you have to do that. No, let people be them freely. That's what like she said, I had to learn how to let people be on their own journey, let people do their own thing, because coming from a religious wound, we're not even gonna talk about how hard that is.
Right.
My God, that programming is so deep. It's literally disgusting once you get out of it and think about it. It's like, man, I really was in that. Like, I really thought that this was life, right? Okay, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
Because
We're
look
setting
at it,
ourselves free from everything. And
yeah,
it feels good to feel that freedom. It feels good to be so free of the other things that used to weigh us down. You know what I mean? And that weight it's a burden. It's burdensome. It's um I mean, think of all the illness and disease in the world. That is from repressed emotions, all this worry. It's you know, we can heal that. Once you start healing yourself and really going deep, these things start to resolve themselves naturally.
because like you said, a lot of this stuff is just in your body. Our bodies can heal themselves.
Yeah.
Don't
And
need all that medicine and all that other
but think
stuff.
about how, okay, so another thing is like the social media, even what social media shows or what the media presents spirituality. Other people just use it as another religion. People in religion use it. They say they're spiritual when they mean they're religious, or they think that you got to wear white outfits and have a big yogi beard and just do yoga. I don't do any of that stuff. And everybody wants the latest trend. And TikTok, I know people are just, I mean, a lot of people, we jumped on there to um, reach other people, to teach and mentor and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to force my views on anybody. So if you jump on my TikTok, it's because you resonate with my energy or my Facebook or whatever. But I'm not trying to force anybody into my views or what I believe, or you know um most of my stuff is light language anyway. I do light language stuff for TikTok, but
Yeah.
and that's a whole nother thing. That's become a trend. I mean, people just take these gifts that people have and just distort them. So, everybody wants to be a tarot reader. Everybody wants these gifts and abilities without working hard for it. You got to work hard for these things.
That's why when people, and it's bad to say, but I'm gonna say it anyways. When people imitate, or when people try to be like you got fake pages and all of this, and when people, I see people. So when I see people trying to imitate and like do other things like me or like anybody else, it just makes me mad, honestly, because I'm like, please be yourself. You can't be somebody else, right? Because if you had to go through what they went through, it'll kill you. And I'm gonna tell you that because you can't go through what I went through. I can't go through what you went through because our journeys are specifically handcrafted to us, not anybody else. So when I see these people on there, oh, here's a love spell. Go and do that spell if you want to. I be wanting to comment so bad and be like, please do not do this stuff if you don't know what you're doing. There's a lot of people getting into
But
stuff.
there's a lot of things. Even okay. You know what irritates me is the tarot readers. They're jumping on there and they're just giving misinformation, and it's not. I mean, tarot has no gender. Like they say, it's a masculine, the feminine, and
We're both.
really we are both. So it could pull from either side of you, and then they think a person's coming in when really that's you jumping into some type of action, or you coming into harmony, or you it's all about you. And especially on the twin flame journey, they're saying, divine masculine, divine feminine. When you hold both energies, that person, somebody's waiting for somebody to come in. But guess what? You will flop, you will switch energies sometimes. So that person they're saying is the divine masculine is actually your divine masculine side of you. And then you're the one that wants to go in pursuit. You're the one that's supposed to take action. That's what the divine is trying to tell you. Don't sit on the sidelines of your life. You know what I mean? Your journey is your journey.
Man, I
And
said,
don't tarot to tell you what to do.
talked about that the other day. We talked about, I was like, man, I really got a lesson that I learned the hard way. And it was about like my spirit team or whatever. Like literally I was getting to the point where I'd be like, should I eat spirit team stuff? Not literally, but I'm exaggerating, but stuff like that. And when the whole time they're telling me, hey, this is your life. We're here to guide you. We're not here to make it for
I
you.
know people who say, Spirit said, Spirit told me to do this, Spirit told me to do that. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Spirit didn't tell you to do none of that stuff, because they wouldn't, Spirit doesn't use you as a puppet. I mean, that's your own, you're giving away your power, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if spirit told you to do anything, like I said, that's another religion. There's somebody up there sitting down telling you what to do and what not to do.
Um,
Making it like
Divine
that.
doesn't work that way anyway. The divine is not going to put you on puppet strings. They're trying to free you from those puppet strings. Yeah.
That thing just is. That's why one thing I can say, um everything just is. The universe doesn't even recognize good and bad. We distinguish the two. That's us.
Right.
We wouldn't even have free will if
They think everything is a lesson. It's just a lesson. We're a school. It's a school. But the dark side of spirituality are these things, the way people use it and abuse it. And, and then there's, oh my God, there's just so many, these twin flame schools. And, the only way to get to your person is to work inwards, because they're you. You have to work towards your heart and free yourself from that. You can't go to any, now you can go to people and they can give you the tools for healing, and help you heal, because that's what I do. But I'm not going to say, watch this video and it's going to automatically put you in union. Nothing. I could hypnotize you and still you wouldn't get in the union, because it's not your time. It's not divine timing for you. And everybody has their own time, because both of you, have to go through a healing process, not just one of you, although you can bring the other one up through your healing. But, you got to do work. It's not going to just The whole thing is about harmonious union, not just union. Because I don't want to get with my person and then break away from them again. That's a cycle. It has to be broken. So
I think of it like this. I think you can apply that message that she just said to any relationship. You healing will heal your bloodline. You healing will heal your kids. You healing will heal everything around you because now your world is different, right? So we got a picture. It's by an artist, Marcus. I can't pronounce his last name and I'm not going to try to butcher it, but his name is at the bottom of it. We gave him credit. So his picture is at the beginning of our podcast where the person is pulling the other person through. That's kind of how healing works. If you look at it in a sense, you're literally pulling somebody up like, hey, get up. Your energy alone, you don't have to go. I don't got to come to Shawna and say, hey, Shawna, you need to heal this, you need to heal that. No, because she gonna know what she need to heal in her life. It's not my job to do that. Don't make it Christianity where it's supposed to, you gotta go save the sinners. No, you should be so focused on your journey, you don't even see nobody else's journey.
and I will tell you another thing. And I'm just talking about the dark side of the twin flame thing because we're talking about dark side of spirituality. That is a form of spirituality. That's a journey on its own. That, you're told that, you know, it's like I used to tell my counterpart what she needed to heal, right? Because I could hear the trigger in her when she's speaking. And now I don't do that anymore. Now I just say that it's your responsibility to heal. It's not mine. I can comfort you and give you support, but your healing is up to you. And I don't try to force it on her. That's how much I've grown. Like, what I mean? We've grown, we've changed, but you can't, unless they came to you to pay you money and say, look, I have no idea where to start. You know what I mean? Like, and then
Now
I say, let's
that's
walk your timeline. But not
different.
people don't uh, want your solicited advice or opinion or anything like that.
Yeah, but that's different. I have a lot of people coming to me asking me advice of how to do this, how to do that. And they ask me how to even begin their spiritual journey. What did I do? I read that book and it opened my mind up to my journey. So I give them the book. I say, here, read this. It'll open your mind up to your journey. You will start seeing stuff your way. I
Mm-hmm.
can't how to do it. I just read the book and it was like, wait a minute. It helped me to understand my subconscious mind and who it is, what it is, and all of that. So then my mind just, pew, I was like, okay, gotcha. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up because we're running out of time. We thank y'all for tuning in with us. We love y'all. Keep growing and glowing.